everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful fall Sunday. I know everybody has busy schedules, so it means a lot that you took time to hang out with us. My name is Liz Baker Plosser. I am the former editor-in-chief of Women's Health. I am also an ambassador for Canyon Ranch, and I am the writer of a Substack that's wellness-focused called Best Case Scenario. I have devoted my entire career to helping women live healthier, happier lives. So this conversation with these two icons is especially meaningful to me. I am really grateful to Stripes Beauty for asking me to moderate today. So just to recap, we are here today being hosted by Stripes Beauty, a brand founded by Naomi Watts to change the midlife conversation. Too often, women in perimenopause and menopause have been left out. You all know this all too well, as their bodies, their skin, and their health go through profound changes. Stripes' mission is to empower women in this stage with solutions, from scalp to vag, education, and community. So today, we will be exploring what beauty and longevity really look like in midlife, blending confidence, mindset, and the latest science. And with that, I am thrilled to be joined by Laura Geller, the founder of Laura Geller Beauty, and Dr. Poonam Desai, longevity expert and physician. So today we're going to begin by talking about the beauty mindset in midlife. And I'll begin with you, Laura. Your brand champions pro-aging. I love that word. What does embracing beauty in midlife mean to you?
Oh, okay. I'm mic'd, right? So you can hear me.
No,
I still need to hold. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, it's interesting. For as much as I speak and as many women as I meet, I'm always surprised how many women will come up to me and go, I don't know where to begin. I don't know how to start. And here's what I want to say to everybody. Beauty is every woman's birthright. It is all of our birthright to feel good, look good. And what it means to you is going to be different than what it means to me. I can't imagine going out without a full face of makeup. For me, that's my world. But it could be that it's just a little blush. When I started doing makeup, I was 18 years old. I will never forget this. And I was doing makeup on TV and film and theater. And I was working on older women, and they'd start to perspire. And I didn't know. I had no clue why they were perspiring. I had a store on the Upper East Side. I don't know how many of you may have ever come, but I had it for 21 years on 74th and Lexington. And I had little rooms, and I wound up putting fans on all the makeup stations because I'd start doing their makeup. They'd start to perspire, and I'd be like, oh no, I'm doing this gorgeous makeup and you're perspiring. And I didn't understand why they were perspiring and ruining the makeup I did. And then it hit me. And I was like, I get it. So what we do is we're targeting women over 40. Our brand has made a huge shift. If you look at our Geller gals, they're all over 40. Frankly, between you and me, they're over 50 or 60 and beyond. And just so you know, I'm in my mid-60s and I'm still sweating. And I have to say, the formulas that we work on for color cosmetics are products that adhere to the skin, that don't feel asphyxiating, that don't make you perspire, that you want to put on. And it could be that you're just putting a little blush on or a little liner. But I always think that everybody feels better. Listen, I'm not an exercise girl, sister. I'm just going to say.
Well, we're going to get into that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I have to leave, actually. Yeah, I just heard someone call my name outside. I was going to say that sometimes for me, making up and looking good on the outside makes me feel good on the inside. That's my final word to you on that.
Oh, I love that. And I full-heartedly agree.
Thank you.
When you feel good on the outside, it changes your confidence, your clarity, how you move about the world. All right, so Poonam, over to you. From a scientific perspective, what's the biggest misconception about how women can support their health and longevity during perimenopause and menopause?
Great question. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that you have to wait till menopause to start treating your hormones that are declining. A lot of people don't understand that you don't want to wait till your hormones are completely gone when there's nothing left to start doing something about it. So That's probably the biggest misconception. You can actually do a lot in your late 30s, even for many people in your mid 30s, to help with the declining estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So there's a lot you could be doing. And many of my patients actually start them on a tiny bit of hormones, because as your estrogen declines, estrogen, as some people will say, has over 100 functions. You have estrogen receptors in your brain. So when you get brain fog, when you can't focus, when you're getting moody, that all may be due to that declining estrogen level. When you wake up at 3 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep, you're wondering what's going on. That could be due to your progesterone levels. And again, you don't have to wait. Like, I have so many women in the 30s that are like, I'm not going to a menopause talk. That's not me. So we really need to shift it and say, let's talk about perimenopause, because there's so much you could do. So when you get to menopause, you can gracefully shift into that phase of your life. And I don't know if some of you have noticed, but in your 30s and 40s, you'll start noticing the cholesterol going up. You'll start noticing a little bit of extra weight around your belly that you didn't have before. You get tired. You can't party like you used to in your 20s. A lot of that has to do with these declining hormones. And again, it doesn't mean you have to be on estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone. There are so many other things you could be doing. And then one last thing, people talk about testing your hormones. I'm a big believer in testing your hormones. I want to know what they were when I was young. So when I'm older, I know what my goal is, because we all are very, very different. So a lot of my healthy patients, I'm like, let's just get, some hormones done. Let's see where you are. So in 10, 15 years, we know where we need to be. We know where you feel good. So I'd say those are the few misconceptions.
Thank you so much. And I agree. I am excited for the day to come when 20-somethings and 30-somethings are talking about this. I recently was speaking at a retreat at Canyon Ranch called Empower. It was a menopause-focused retreat, and I got like a DEXA scan, a full blood work panel, all the things. And exactly like you said, I wish I had done those tests. I'm 46 right now with 3 children, but I wish I had peeked under the hood earlier so I knew where I was, because I don't really have a reference point to compare it to. So highly recommend that as well. Okay, so Laura, let's talk about some of the daily practices we can do to feel like our best selves during this chapter of life. Are there self-care rituals or just everyday routines that you personally use or that you recommend to women?
Yeah, I'm actually asked about this all the time. And do Stripes have this? Because I'm addicted to Stripes skincare, just so you know. Thank you, Stripes Skincare, for hooking me up. But I don't know if you have this. Do you have one of those pads, those glycolic pads, those acid pads? Not yet, Laura. Okay. I just want to say, now listen, I had acne when I was young, so my skin wasn't great. I get asked all the time how I look like I'm 40 years old. No, that they don't ask that. I'm just saying. But they do ask what my skincare routine is. And I am using those glycolic acid pads, those peel pads. Every brand has one. They're just marketed a little differently. But the reason why I use them is because when I clean my makeup off at night and I take one of them, I can't believe what's still coming off on that pad. So selfishly, I'm using it for that reason. But I have to tell you, there is no question it changed and helped me resurface my skin. My skin has such a glow to it and a vibrancy and a brightening effect to my skin, and it's softer and smoother. Here's what I want to say about skincare. I'm just going to tell you my personal belief. Your skin reacts best to skincare in the evening. Do your skincare, and by the way, I don't know if it's true, a dermatologist once told me, for every night you don't take off your makeup, you age 2 weeks. Just add that up.
Terrifying.
Okay? Just add that up. So even if you have to keep those wipes next to your bed and just wipe off what the most you have, I always do my routine at night. And I also find if you sit in front of a mirror, you'll be more likely to do your routine. If you're standing in the bathroom over your mirror, even with makeup, by the way, you're always going to rush doing your makeup. But I sit at a vanity with a mirror right in front of me, and I'm not proud, 10-time makeup mirror. I know it's scary to look at, but you know what? It shows you every single flaw. So if you look good in a 10-time makeup mirror, you're going to look amazing when you walk outside or in fluorescent lights. But so 2 tips. Sit when you're doing your makeup, sit when you're doing your skincare, and really have a routine that you stick with. And you have to give it a minute. Don't jump all over the place, because if you're doing a little of this and a little of that, your skin's not going to respond. I am so used to a routine. Cleanse, and then after I cleanse, I use those peel pads, and then I use an eye cream and a moisturizer. I don't know. How many people have a skincare routine in here? Okay. Do you do it in the morning or you do it at night? Both. And in the day, I just do a very little bit. I really do, because I use my spackle, just saying. The primer, under makeup primer. But for everybody, SPF, if you don't want to end up with those hyperpigmentation and the brown spots for you youngins in here, use an SPF. I mean, that's really critical.
Thank you for that. Does anybody watch Severance, that show? You know how there's an innie and an outie? I always say I wish I had a nightie who could go do my skincare routine for me, and Liz could, just relax in bed at any rate. I will now never, ever skip my makeup and makeup removal at night. Not that I do it often, but also Stripes Beauty, the products are amazing. At Women's Health, we gave them multiple beauty awards, so definitely browse around and check them out. All right, Poonam, over to you. You talked about the sort of belly that many of us have noticed as we enter this chapter of our lives. I think what's so frustrating is that we could be doing everything the same, eating healthy, lifting weights, working out, doing it all right, and yet things are changing. And I know that's related to our hormone fluctuations that you were talking about. So in terms of daily or weekly rituals, what do you recommend?
Great question. I'm actually going to go back to skincare for a hot second. Did you know estrogen plays a very, very important part in your skin health? So estrogen, as a decline, so does your collagen. So if you look at your children or your baby pictures, you had a plump face.
That's right.
The reason is because you had more estrogen there. So one of my tricks for a lot of my patients is to take that vaginal estrogen and put a little bit on your face.
Ooh.
I know. to kind of put the estrogen where you want it to be. It will help you prevent wrinkles. It will give you a little bit of collagen.
Wait, can you just get that vaginal thing for your face alone and not use it on your vagina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that prescription?
Yes, but there are a lot of companies that are coming out with tiny doses of estrogen to put on your face. There are different types of estrogen, and the one you want to put on your face is actually estriol.
Oh, yes, estriol.
So you can do that. Also, the number 2 thing about aging and skincare is as you age, you lose hydration in your face as well. So hyaluronic acid is actually key as you're aging. So a little bit of estrogen, a little bit of hyaluronic acid, and I'm a big fan of retinol as well. So you want to put in retinol at night. And most people, it was me too, don't put enough retinol on their face. We're putting these like tiny amounts. You want to lather so much that the tube you get is gone in 2 to 3 months. So make sure you're putting enough so you're getting the benefits. Back to your question.
Yes. Do you want me to remind you? So that the belly, the body composition changes that we experience, even when we're doing everything exactly the same as we were a week, a year, a few years ago, what kinds of rituals or routines are you recommending to patients and friends?
Great question. I also want you to know, if you've had kids, you've kind of gone through a mini menopause. Did you know as soon as you give birth, you don't have much hormones? You went from having a lot of hormones to having no hormones. So remember they call them the postpartum blues? You can't sleep, your mood is all over the place. That's similar to what happens in menopause, because you're kind of in a mini menopause right after you give birth. And if you were breastfeeding, you're definitely in it. So I just had a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When?
My baby's a year, so I'm not, but I'm breastfeeding. So I'm kind of still in like a mini menopause. I didn't get my period till actually last month. So a lot of us have already gone through a little bit of menopause. So when people say you're younger, you shouldn't worry about it. No, we should all be talking about it. So a few things that you can do if you're starting to go through perimenopause, the number 1 thing is you really want to focus on your sleep. Sleep is where all the important work happens. You want to guard your sleep. as much as possible. So a few supplements that I recommend if you're having some sleep issues is magnesium glycinate that you can take at night. Not everybody needs magnesium, so if you're getting it in your diet, you may not need it. The most important thing about sleep that not enough people talk about, and it's so easy and it's free, is that you want to kind of balance out your circadian rhythm. You want to regulate your circadian rhythm. The best way to do that is not only getting sunlight in the morning, so as soon as you wake up, get outside. When we wake up, my kids and I just go for a walk. We take their food in the stroller. We just go for a walk. I take my coffee in my hands because that's going to get them to sleep better and I am going to sleep better. But the second one nobody talks about is getting sunlight. So getting outside during sunset. We are meant to be hunters and gatherers. And the only way we know, because we didn't have clocks back then, that it's time to go to bed, it's time to wake up, is through UV light. So as much as we fear the sun for our skin, we want to embrace it in the morning when the UV index is not high, and we want to embrace it in the evening, and that will help you regulate your circadian rhythm. The more sleep you get, the better you can balance your blood sugar. So insulin sensitivity plays a role, which can, be piling on the little bit of weight in menopause. And then the next thing I'm going to do, if you sleep better, you're going to have a better workout. So you want to make sure you're doing resistance training. And then the third thing that not a lot of people talk about, listen, our country is not protein deficient. We have McDonald's around the corner. People are eating chicken nuggets since they're, 2 years old. Maybe some 1-year-olds are eating chicken nuggets. You're not protein deficient. Our country is fiber deficient. Less than 3% of America's population gets the fiber that they need. Less than 3%.
Where's your office located?
And it's really important to know that because fiber helps you balance your hormones. 1 in 3 people may get cancer. The reason I'm saying that is because we all have toxin exposure. The average female gets exposed to over 130 chemicals per day. That comes from your hair, your makeup, your husband's deodorant that he's spraying. My husband sprays deodorant, so I had to bring that up. And the reason I say this is fiber will help you detox. It is such a great detox. And as we go through perimenopause and menopause, we want to make sure that all that toxin burden that we've lived with and that we continue giving ourselves, that we are getting rid of it. And fiber will do that. So I always tell my patients, 50% of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. Don't fear the fruits. Don't fear the vegetables. Pack them on.
I don't think I have ever moderated a panel with more actionable advice. I'm loving this. I'm glad we're recording it because I am definitely taking some notes home to change some of my habits. And I must say, I personally went on a protein journey. I was one of those people that was deficient. I was just pushing it to the side. But I've gotten that locked up, and fiber is the new frontier for me. And it's really made a difference in how I feel this year.
So what do you take?
I created a mixture of ground flaxseed and chia, and I add that to my morning overnight oats, or I'll put it in my smoothie, and that just to kick off the day kind of sets the tone. Fiber is a priority. Yeah. I also fiercely protect my sleep, so I was really happy to hear you talk about that. Anyway, let's move on to confidence during this stage of life. And I feel like everything we've been talking about actually really contributes to confidence. But Laura, I know this is a topic that you're passionate about, particularly how you kicked us off, that, when we look good and we feel good with whether it's our skincare, our makeup, our fashion, we can go out and perform at our peak in the world. So tell us a little bit more about that. When you're working, when you're talking to your friends or when you're thinking about your customers, how are you trying to impart that esteem, self-worth, and confidence to them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I'm going to back up for a second and just say, I so appreciate this movement. You're all here because of this movement. This movement didn't exist for me. Yeah. Everything you're talking about, I had one of the most famous gynecologists in the city. Honestly, never did she ask me, are you having sweats? Are you having sleep issues? I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. I probably have ADHD, but who knows? Or brain fog, that's what it is. And to that point, boy, what I went through, and I'm so grateful for this movement, and that's why I'm part of it. Thank you for asking me to be here. Thank you for everybody that comes out and wants to learn. I don't think anybody in this room is quite as old as me, but I will tell you that if you can listen to what you said about starting in your 30s and getting your hormone levels, I would have been a different person. And maybe I would have survived some things that I went through, which brings me to confidence. Good. Because I will say, I don't think anybody in this room escapes adversity. We all have had adversity in our lives, whatever it may be. I will tell you, the older I get, the less I give a shit about anything. And I think, truthfully, the confidence comes from if you can get through whatever it is that you've been faced with and come out the other side still standing. It's a teachable moment, and it brings you to your knees to the point that you're like, bring it on, I'm not afraid of anything. I think that's how I got my confidence, and I really mean that. I started a business on my own, and it was not easy. You know, everybody looks and goes, oh, she has her own business. Like, nobody knows what goes into that. By the way, that's another book for another day. Yeah. But I'd have to change the names of the people to protect the guilty. So I'm just saying, I think that for those of you in this room, whatever it may be that you're dealing with, whether it's grief or going through your changes or whatever it may be, just know that this too is making you stronger and making you more confident. And I just think, like, what's the worst that could happen? Someone says no to you or you get rejected. So what? You just come back and you go to the next person. I think for me, that's what shows through. And I think it's not from wearing makeup. I think well, that doesn't hurt. Just saying. We happen to have nice makeup. For those of you, by the way, we have an age-based discount. Mark April 9th on your calendar. Just if no matter what your age, you'll get that amount of discount off your products. Yeah, we actually registered National Mature Women's Day for April 9th. Okay, so did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You not only answered it, I would like to tuck you in my back pocket and carry you around with me. I mean, personally, I feel like I'm in this new chapter for the first time in my life. I'm not working for a big corporation. I don't have a big door at a fancy, tall office building to walk into every morning. The hustle is real.
The hustle's real.
And showing up every day with belief in myself, and like you said, rolling through the no's and the mistakes and the falling down, or that didn't go like I wanted, or why am I not where I thought I would be? That stuff is real.
Yeah.
I have 3 children. I have boy-girl twins who are 14
Oh
and a little boy
gosh.
who's 10.
Lucky you.
Yes, and there's, it's a lot. I have elder parents. You know, I'm officially part of the sandwich generation that's navigating that. So I think, honestly, no matter what age you are, like I said, I'm 46, you're in your 60s.
67.
Wherever we are, there's always something. So I think those are words of motivation to live by.
Yeah,
and
no,
I
it's really
deeply
true.
appreciate them.
I'm going to say this to Molly, my girl. This is Molly, who works for Laura Geller Beauty. Am I embarrassing you? It gets better. Don't you agree? How many people would agree? It gets better.
Amen.
I mean, I think, like, I would not want to go back to my, honestly, it gets better and better and better. You just wish that you had more time on the other side. Yeah. That's the only thing. Like, I wish I felt today like I did, I wish I felt in my 40s like I do in my 60s.
Can you imagine? But that's life,
you imagine?
Right? Yeah. It's earned, our wisdom and
totally
feeling secure in who we are and not caring, like you said. Okay, Poonam, over to you. I want to be sure that we save a second for you to talk about what you're seeing. Like, imagine you're looking in the crystal ball into the longevity space, which you kind of do every day because you're so on the cusp and touching the pulse of what's happening in this space. What are you excited about that's coming down the pipeline? Are there supplements, science, equipment, modalities? Just maybe give us a couple of glimpses into the future.
Say is that I love the menopause movement. I love the hormone movement, but we are so much more than our hormones. That is just a tiny aspect of us. And people are focusing on it because they forgot about our hormones. They forgot we had them. But you guys, we are way more than our hormones. We got to focus on not only her hormones, but we got to focus on her longevity. And that is going to be the next movement. We are going to look at hormones as a tiny aspect, big important aspect, but still a tiny aspect in comparison to her longevity. What I mean by that is cardiovascular. The number one killer in United States of women is heart disease. We got to focus on her heart. We got to focus on her mental health. We got to focus on her community. We got to focus on her gut health, which has been ignored by the food industry. That's been ignored by every single industry, I think. So there is so much more to her than her hormones, and that is going to be the next movement. I'm biased because my practice is longevity medicine, but I see it. I see the word longevity everywhere. And I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And I keep saying this, we've been doing hormones for a very long time. But now what we're doing on top of the hormones is we're making sure that when a patient comes to us, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, we are looking at her cardiovascular health. How are your lipids? Which way are they going? Is your insulin sensitivity? We are measuring things the average physician may not be measuring because maybe they just don't have the time. So we're measuring fasting insulin. We are then moving forward and we're looking at your gut health. Are you inflamed? Are you bloated? Are you holding on to more weight? Are you moody during the midday? Are you getting very tired? Are you relying on caffeine? A lot of us need coffee to start our day, and we need to ask ourselves why. And that is what the longevity movement is. But there is one more thing I want to put in that I'm very excited about. It's called peptides. You guys have all heard of it. GLP-1 is a peptide, which not a lot of people know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a peptide. And it has many benefits beyond weight loss. So if you are taking them, want to take them, I fully support any woman, because GLP-1s as a peptide not only benefits weight loss, but it'll help you with inflammation. It will help you with brain fog. You have GLP-1 receptors in all parts of your body. And as we age, they decline. So like we put our hormones back in, why not put the GLP-1 back in? And there's actually over 2,000 peptides, from gut health to sleep to all kinds of things. So I really do think that the next big thing is going to be peptides.
What about exosomes?
So exosomes will probably be, I do believe in exosomes if done correctly, but I don't know how many people are doing them correctly. So I'd be very, very wary of where you're doing them, why you're doing them, and what you're doing.
And skincare.
Skincare exosomes are also very, very tricky. But that will be a conversation for another day.
That's with the longevity. Okay.
Yes, many conversations we've cracked open for the future. Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm going to be visiting your longevity clinic. I definitely need a tip to. Yes, let's go. Well, it's a date.
You want to go, Gina?
We're all going. Amazing. Okay. Well, I know everybody has busy weekends. Thank you both for being here. I just have one final question, since we're here with Stripes Beauty. If you could give one last piece of beauty advice for women in midlife, what would it be?
Just do it. Really, just do it. Step into it, even if it's intimidating, because boy, oh boy, the space is crowded. But do something. Do a little bit, and then you'll get used to it, and then do a little more. You don't have to be into a whole major routine, but I have to tell you, skincare has saved my face. It really has. And it's because I'm in the business, but I thank God. My son always says to me, "Ma, you don't look 67. I'm like, thank you. You're a little biased, but okay. I'm just saying, do a little. Don't run away from it.
Love that.
My advice for beauty is very, very simple. And I bet you majority of you are not doing it. And it's called hydration, hydration, hydration. It's free, it's simple. Just drink more water. It will not only hydrate your skin, but it's going to help you detox. It will help you pee and poop, which we all need to be doing more of.
That's really good advice.
That's true. Thank you both so much. I was going to give a quick recap, but I learned so much, and we have so many new ideas to put into practice in our lives. I know. We'll talk about working out later.
Oh, I'm sandwiched between these two women. I'm like longevity, muscles. Oh my God.
But I want your skincare routine and makeup routine.
Okay, well, that's yours.
We
Stripes
can,
is here.
yes. I appreciate all of you being here. Thanks for being so engaged, and have a beautiful rest of your day. And please sing the good word about everything you learned to your friends and to your families. Thank you.